Welcome. This is To Your Greatness with Dawn Mathis, and I am Dawn Mathis, the owner of Institute LifeWorks. So today we're going to talk about the M word. No, not that one. We're going to talk about menopause. So just a nice, relaxed, comfortable conversation about a topic that maybe we don't talk about enough. For me, it all started when I was about 40. And I noticed that I had an increase in belly fat, and it just blew me away because I'd always been an athlete, always been fit and trim. And when I went to my nurse practitioner, who I had at that time, and I expressed my concern, she told me to get a life. So since that time, I had a life. So since that time, I've kind of resisted or pussyfooted around the perimenopausal diagnosis, if you want to call it a diagnosis. But I treated it as if it were some disease that I could avoid or prevent or fight. And so for years, I tried to beat it down by working out harder, trying different nutritional programs, anything I could think of. And over the course of the last few years, so this was a while ago, so I guess I'm going to date myself by telling you that was about 21 years ago. So over the last few years, since training to become a life coach, I started using some new tools to deal with, I guess you might say, or to look at menopause. And so I wanted to share those tools, which amounts to a different perspective. I wanted to share that with you today because I have shared it with friends and clients and colleagues and others. And I just thought I would share it with you. So I started writing some notes down actually because I was just a guest on Clarissa Chris Jansen's podcast a couple of weeks ago. And she's a menopause transition specialist. Never heard of that, but that's what she is. That's what she does. And she's a delightful person. So ClarissaChrisJansen.com, you can go there and check her out. I will also, if you don't do that, or even if you do, I am going to have her be a guest on my podcast because I think she has a lot to offer us. So anyway, so some of my perspectives and some of my realizations and coming to terms with things around menopause. And I mean, this is stuff that you're probably thinking, duh, when you hear it. But for me, it was a process. So menopause is just a natural process that we women go through as we age. And perhaps there's a tie to our own ageism that we've learned from society around this. And maybe that's why I was fighting it so much, is that I think I have some ageism going on. And that's kind of crazy, right? So I love Ashton Applewhite's book, This Chair Rocks, a manifesto against ageism, because it's helped me with this issue around menopause. And Ashton will be a guest on my podcast very soon. But in this book, she speaks of being an older person in training. Training, ding, ding, ding. For me, that was a buzzword. That's like, oh, I know how to train. So being an older person in training just meant I was training for that I'm not necessarily older. Anyway, that's how my brain thought about it. Anyway, sounds good. And practicing agefulness, which is another term she has in her book, This Chair Rocks, living fully into our aging, just celebrating it. Also, Jennifer Jimenez, one of the staff of the Brave Thinking Institute, where I received my life coaching certification. She's a mind, body, spirit specialist, and she tells us to dance 5 minutes a day. It moves our blood, it moves our energy, and it elevates our self-love. So these are just things that, little tidbits of information that I wanted to share with you. Another one is learning to love your body and all its parts. Learning to love your body and all its parts. And also being mindful of your body. What does that mean? Being mindful of your body. Well, it's one of the tools that we teach. And it's just called notice what you're noticing. So just being aware of your body, of your breathing, praising your body. Praise is a huge component to elevating our energy. There's all kinds of scientific experiments about praising people, praising plants, and praising ourselves. And it raises our cellular energy as well as our vibration. So the other thing I would say about menopause is it's something that I call a soft signal. And what I mean by that is we get little signals in life about health, about relationships, things that just, little things like if you haven't been exercising, you try to go up the stairs and you're breathless and you're like, "Ooh, I need to work out more." That's a soft signal. Well, menopause, I think, is a soft signal to us women saying, "Hey, it's me. Your body, pay attention to me, love me." So that's not something I think that comes very naturally to us as women. So definitely some life work in there for us to do. Another thing I would say is just gently researching even better ways to naturally serve your body through mindset, nutrition, exercise. We recently had Carrie Castle on, and her book is now out, The Domino Diet, and she is a good resource. Her book, The Domino Diet, is a great resource of ways to just entertain ideas that might help you to address nutrition and healing your body from the inside out. And another thing, discover how your body likes to move. Burpees aren't for everybody. They're sure as hell not for me. And neither is CrossFit. I mean, those are great things if you love them and if they don't hurt you too bad. I would just say find a way to move, find a way to exercise and relish it. Love it. Another thing you could do is share healthy recipes with people in your age bracket. The ones that know about menopause or going through it or will be going through it or have gone through it. Share some healthy recipes. And I would say take responsibility. It's your body. Sometimes we take better care of our cars than we do our bodies. Another thing that I teach my clients is to have a partner in believing, someone you can share your challenges with, but someone who believes that you're way bigger than your challenges and just like, hey, just, you're feeling what you're feeling. You're noticing what you're noticing. Now, what are you going to do about it? And just know this too, that you are not defined by the M word. It's a stage in life. It's a process. And quite frankly, I think it kind of wakes us up to loving ourselves and taking better care of ourselves and our bodies. So I just wanted to end with some of the little bright stars that came out of menopause for me. The first one is pretty damned obvious. No more tampons. I tell you, I am so over those things. To me, that was a big one. So I'm just going to put it out there. Also with menopause, I gained more clarity in my life, and I see things more clearly. It's easier for me to understand maybe where people are coming from. I believe that I'm more empathetic, and a greater sense and a honed sense of my own mortality. You know, we sometimes think we have all the time in the world, and then things like menopause come about. It's like, how did I get here? Well, you got older. So let's relish and honor the time that we have, and not waste it grieving the body we had when we were 21. Express gratitude for my body. I express gratitude for my body and all the things that it's been through, and all the fun times that it's carried me through, all the hikes, all the sports, everything. Just celebrating that. And I've also, I believe, created a more attunement, if you will. I'm more in tune with my needs, my wants, desires, and I really care less about what others think of me. I forget who the author is, but I love this. It's like, what other people think of me is none of my business. And you know what? It's none of my business. We're not going to please everybody all the time. And then just casting a kind glance on my life, on my body, and on this thing called menopause. And I hope this helped you a little bit. And, you know, this was more of a sit and have a cup of coffee. And I wish I could see all your faces and just take a sip of coffee or wine or whatever and just talk about this with you face to face. This is as close as it gets for me right now. And I do hope this was helpful to you. And this has been To Your Greatness with Dawn Mathis. And I look forward to seeing you in person sometime soon. Thanks for listening. Take care.